Assalamu alaikum and welcome to The Entrepreneur. Those of you who haven't watched us before, The Entrepreneur is about individuals, successful individuals that we bring onto the show, and we learn about how they became successful so they can benefit us and the viewers, especially younger viewers, hopefully they're watching. And for that reason, we learn their steps to success. Today I have with myself such an individual who has been successful in business. Also, he's been an inspiration to the Bengali community, and I'll tell you why in a bit. You'll understand. So we'll go to Mr. Nazrul Ahmed. Welcome, Mr. Nazrul Ahmed bhai.
Thank you very much indeed. Pleasure.
With a busy schedule, you came to join us, and for that reason, I'd like to be thanking you once again, and I'm grateful.
Welcome.
Okay, now Nazrul Ahmed bhai is the producer of Mr. Shutki, which many of you have probably seen in the local stores, and if you haven't, then you've definitely missed out. So watch out for that. And the brand name is Naz Brand Fusion Foods, or Naz Fusion Foods. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to move on to Naz bhai, and you know, what made you get into this particular product? Tell us a little bit about that.
There's a couple of factors that made me go into the product. A, I like Shutki,
right.
And B, whilst I was at university,
yep.
You know, there was years ago you could get these little jars coming in from Bangladesh for Shutki Borta.
Really?
They were very nice, very tasty.
Okay.
It's good. Then all of a sudden, you know, they were banned. Later inquiring and finding out why they were banned, it was banned because the process, how it's made in Bangladesh. So. I was a Shutki lover. I was disappointed, and then you know I used to make my own Shutki or get my mother to make me some, and then I used to take it back and have it at uni when I went away.
So it was more of a passion for eating Shutkis.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't just Shutki. But there's other things that I created as well to make my life easier.
Right.
And Shutki being one of them. I mean, you know, curry powders we used to make, and what we used to see, we used to supply all the student unions with curry kits. In fact, I was the first one to bring the curry kits out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell me about how. So okay, so the passion was obviously because you ate Shutki, you liked it, and then wherever it was coming from, the source has, you know, it was terminated, and for that reason you thought, okay, you know what, I'm going to make it myself.
Yeah,
that's a really good stand to make, and for that reason you have actually become successful. And now, tell me, how did you go into it? Apart from the fact that, you know, because it stopped, and this is why I made it. How did you actually go into it so we can benefit the viewers?
Well, what do you mean?
In terms of becoming a businessman, turning it into a business.
How did I monetize it?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, put it in a jar, and Bob was your uncle, really, or Abdul your chacha?
Maybe you can elaborate a little bit more.
Well, maybe I don't want to elaborate a little bit more.
Well, without sharing your secrets.
No, I'm. You know, I mean, I produced the actual product. I did some market research, did a feasibility study,
right?
And you know, people liked it. And
so look, there are quite a few factors that go into
I'm not
human, consumable and stuff like that.
There's a lot of work before you can actually put a product into the market.
Right.
Example, if you've got a year's shelf life on it or 2 years shelf life on it, you have to send it away, have it tested for that 2 years intervals.
That's
so
right.
that, you know, at the end of the 2 years, then they'll say, yeah, this has been certified 2 years, you've got a 2 year shelf life on the product and so on. So it's not as easy as what people might think, well, I'm going to make it up and I'm going to put it in.
It's not as easy as Bob's your uncle.
I mean, you asked me a question, I gave you an answer, but there's a lot more in it.
No, I'm sure. Now, look, this product itself, we know that a lot of people love it, but there are a lot of people who can't stand it, right? Because of the smell.
Absolutely,
right? And you know, obviously you overcame the smell. Now, environmental health as well, they must have some kind of issues about it. Tell us in a few words how you sort of, you know, when you made it, the end product was it got to the stores. It was on the shelves of the stores.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, you know, just tell us in a few words how that happened.
First of all, first thing which I want to say, there wasn't any health issues with it any time, because if you comply, you do the work properly, you do it analytically, systematically, one after the other, then there's procedures that you have to do in order to get to where you need to get to, where you get to. But other than that, I mean, you know, these are several, you need to do tests, you need to do research, you need to do everything else, and then you sort of design your labels. You find the source of jars and so on, and then you find the premises.
Yep.
And then you set up.
Good good summarization. Maybe I wanted a little bit more, but obviously that's good.
No,
You're keeping it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine as long as you give me a jar and I can eat that.
Oh, I think I might be able to.
Yes,
sort a few
bring,
jars out.
bring some to the studios next time you come down. Right now, listen. If I believe correctly, you came into this country in the 70s.
The early 70s, straight after
Precisely.
Shongram.
Okay, right. And you grew up in Wales. Is that correct?
Yes, I grew up in, I first of all, when I came to this country with my mom, my dad was already here.
Yeah.
In fact, my granddads were back in 1930. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's a long
time ago.
It's a long time ago. Yeah, absolutely.
1930s, though. That must be the time when they used to come by ship and
Yeah,
and
my
so forth.
granddad was on the ship. He used to be he was a
That's very
shipman.
interesting.
Most facilities people of that generation.
Yeah, they did.
They were all sort of on the ship and they sort of jumped ships and so on. My granddad jumped ship in Cardiff.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about your childhood. So you came to this country a long time ago. Long time ago.
A few years ago.
Let me just add that you do not look that old.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a compliment. So
It's
yeah,
the
you're welcome.
shutki. It's the good proteins in the shutki, right? It's not carbohydrates.
Something that I got to look into,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, absolutely. It's
It
the
seems
shutki,
to have
see.
done the work. Now, you grew up in not in Ireland. You grew up in Wales.
No,
right?
I grew up first 7 years of my life in the UK.
Right.
In Bristol.
In Bristol, okay.
Yeah, I've got
Go
some
on.
really good friends in Bristol.
I'm sure you do,
I
yeah.
can mention some names. I mean, I was actually sent an email. Not sent, but a message on Facebook. 39 years, right?
Right.
I haven't seen these guys.
Goodness me, well, you're still in touch.
Oh, absolutely.
One way or the other.
Oh,
That's brilliant. So, okay, so Bristol and then Cardiff, was it?
Yeah, then Cardiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we moved to Cardiff.
Right,
I
go
think
on.
that was probably in 1980, 81, 82, something
What
like
I'm trying to get to is how you became a chef, right? So obviously you had to become a chef to produce a product such as Mr. Shutki.
Ask me the question.
Right, yeah. So that's what I'm, so when we, maybe I'm not asking the correct question. Right, so the question is basically, how did you go into becoming a chef? So you started working in the restaurant.
No,
Tell me a little bit about your studies and also the kind of work that you did.
Right, okay, well, look, growing up in the 70s, it wasn't
Right.
an easy era to grow up in this
Right.
country. My dad had his own restaurant, his business, so often on the weekends I would definitely work for my dad.
Okay.
And then sort of, weekdays, in the evenings and so on. I would be involved in the kitchen. I would go and help my dad in the kitchen and I would learn. In fact, I learned how to blend spices and herbs
Yes, yes.
before I learned how to paint. And I'm quite a good painter.
That's,
Watercolors,
that's amazing.
actually.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
So
See,
that's
now
it.
we're getting there. So, okay,
Yeah.
the spices were blended,
Yeah,
and you learned how to do that.
Yeah,
And what about the
absolutely.
cooking part of it?
I just helped my dad cooking and so on, and Indian cooking, and I suppose at the end of the day, it's taste. I mean, I had a taste for it. I mean, I did a lot of fusion cooking, a bit of this and a bit of that, and a bit of this and a bit of that, and.
Do you remember the first dish that you cooked? Do you remember?
God.
Or the first dish that you remember cooking, which was interesting?
I think I cooked my own version of methi gosht.
Methi gosht.
Yeah,
Interesting.
my own version of methi gosht.
I like that dish because I like meat,
Yeah.
lamb meat, and
Yeah.
methi gosht is with methi.
Yeah.
I mean, from my background, as you know.
Yeah, methi.
Okay, so
But I did it with fresh methi instead of the thing, so I did my own version of it.
Fantastic,
And it was
fantastic.
much nicer.
So you started off cooking in your dad's restaurant. You helped your dad out.
I
You
did.
helped to blend the spices.
I did.
Okay. So and then you're studying at the same time.
No, because I was still a youngster then. I was
Well,
still-
how old were you?
No, I was about at that time about 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, so you were going to a primary school.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
and I was helping my dad out
Yeah.
all the time. So I've learnt from that age,
That's
then
a
we
very early age to blend spices.
Yeah, well, the thing is, have you seen the Shaolin masters? They start when they're like knee-high to...
Absolutely. No,
Yeah,
no.
grasshoppers.
No, this is the world. Look, this show is about
Yeah.
learning and being inspired
Yeah.
by someone such as yourself. And obviously, you've got a product out there, and many people want to get their products out there, and they can't. They have to go through a lot of barriers
Oh, we did as
and
well.
obstacles.
I mean,
Okay?
it's a
No,
course that you
no,
have to do to ensure
Absolutely.
public
But-
health and safety.
Absolutely, but you did.
Absolutely.
You did it, and that's what that's why you're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you understand? And we're interested in that. So after that, you moved on to, okay, let's just jump to the teenage years. And then when you were studying, right? And then were you still doing the cooking? Were you still, the passion was there? Was it still there?
Yeah, I mean, the passion was there. I mean, once you're comfortable doing something and you know it becomes a pleasure, and
Right.
cooking it became a pleasure for me. I enjoyed cooking, and I suppose when it's a pleasure and when you enjoy it, then you can be creative with it.
Absolutely.
And that's the success in anything is you have to enjoy what you do, and if you enjoy it, then you can be creative, you can experiment, and you can do things.
Fantastic. So now, you mentioned earlier on that you used to love shutki. And, the shutki, the sauce was terminated and then you went into it. Let's just try and put those two things together. The sauce being stopped and you working in your dad's place, same time you're studying.
No. It wasn't stopped at the time.
No.
I mean, we sort of give you the first bit.
Yeah.
This was back, I'd already had restaurants.
Okay.
I had several pizza houses, kebab houses, and so on. I mean, I'm sort of pretty much accomplished it.
No, businessman.
Make
Obviously,
kebab from scratch.
You're always into business.
Not frozen stuff
Right.
that you usually buy nowadays.
No.
I make from scratch.
Okay.
And not just doner kebab, but shawarma kebab as well. Proper meat pieces actually build up the thing in a V shape.
I love
with a
that.
suet
I
on the
love
top.
that.
With a suet on the top, you shape it, trim it, everything. I mean,
The whole process.
The process, yeah, absolutely.
No, you
Because
see-
nowadays you can buy it.
Yeah,
Years
yeah.
ago you couldn't buy it. You had to make it. So if you had a kebab house, and if you knew how to make shawarma, then you did very well.
Hats off to you.
I mean,
No,
yeah.
this is the thing. When you say you started everything from scratch,
Yeah.
I mean, everything's available to buy nowadays.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah, but-
would you still do it? Would you still do it from
Absolutely,
scratch? Everything? Yeah?
absolutely. I wouldn't buy ready-made stuff now.
Fantastic.
Not unless it's shutki, because I know how it's made and it's good
No,
stuff.
yeah, well, yeah. Shutki. I mean, driving, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, the good thing about the shutki is look, it's like there's many reasons, right? Look, it's you try and cook shutki
Yeah.
in your house.
Yeah.
It stinks.
Yeah.
It smells the house out completely.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now you've got people living in high-rise flats, apartments, and so on. All these new modern
Yeah.
places.
Okay.
It's very, very difficult to make shutki and traditional food. So our product goes very well. Because people have they have the taste. They want they want to eat variety and maybe they're not able to.
No,
make
but
it,
you
so-
saw you also saw a market out there. Right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Now, how did you incorporate your idea to the market? As we know, in the business world, there's always a statement: supply and demand. Right. Obviously, the demand was there. How did you get into supplying it? I'm probably asking you the question because you know what? What I'm trying to get, I'm asking you the question, same question, maybe 2 or 3 times.
Different
But
way.
yeah, different ways. Now, what I'm trying to get to is, how did you get? See, again, I'm asking the same question,
Yeah.
but it's actually very critical here.
Yeah, okay.
That I need to ask you this. The product itself, how did you incorporate your ideas and fulfill the demands of the?
Well, no,
the
I mean,
customers?
the ideas. I mean, the idea was there. We've already created the product by that time. I mean, I was using the product. The products were used by my family, friends, and
Right.
so on. For
How did you market it? Just
no, I'm coming to that
Okay.
now. And it's a shutki product. I mean, I knew that there was already a shutki product in the market before, and we were able to buy it. So
Yep.
there is a void in the market for that because I knew there was already a product which I was using myself.
Okay.
So there was a void in the market, so it needed that void to be filled.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
people weren't able to do it because at the end of the day, the way it was made, it's questionable. So what I did is I thought, well, let's make it in the UK.
Yeah.
My family, friends, they liked it, and we did what we needed to do. To get it into the into the production stage, and after we got into the production stage, it was pretty much because there was a void. We were able to fill
So
that gap.
you saw the disparity,
Yeah.
or the void as you call it, and you filled up that gap,
Absolutely.
and then it made a hit.
Well, it had to be good to make a hit. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think I've got that the gist of how you don't worry. I'm not trying to take your product
Yeah, it's all right.
and get it out there.
That's
Or maybe
all
we
right.
can talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about since you're a chef and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and we've been having some discussions about production, cooking show and stuff like that. Maybe we'll talk about something like that. Maybe this could be start of a new era. But got the gist of that, and it's absolutely fantastic. You've taken your product out there, and people love it. And there's not only one product, even though we're not mentioning it. There's 5 or 6 products out there, and you're still working on it, right?
No, we at this present moment,
Yep.
in the Bengali community, we have 16 products.
There you go. Okay.
16 products in the Bengali market,
Right.
in the Bengali, and then also then what we have is we have another 40 odd products which have already been tried and tested and all done.
Fantastic. So they're ready to be.
Yeah, they're ready to be launched. So this is what I
Wow.
intend to do for the next few years, is launch 2 or 3 products a year.
Well, I was going to ask you something about your future plans. It looks like we'll get back to that in a bit. But what we'll do is I ask everybody this, and
Okay.
this is a part of a businessman's life, if not many businessmen's life. Family, right? You know, how do you go around working with family, extended family, children, and so forth? You know, a busy schedule. Then you got the family. How do you sort of juggle the times?
Easy, very, very easy.
Go on.
Yep. Take them to school in the mornings, do the school runs and everything else,
Yep.
and you do it for about 18 years.
Yep.
Okay, and then afterwards you need to do it anymore. Well, I'm lucky to say
Yep.
that I'm past that 18 years and all mine are over 18 and I don't need to worry about them.
You're actually the first person who said easy. The first word was easy, which I hope it is easy.
Well, it's not easy, is
for a
it?
lot of
But
people.
the point of it is I don't have to do the school runs.
So that part is over.
Yeah, that part is
your
over,
children
yeah.
are, you know.
Kids are kids, they're always
But
being
you're
your
still
children,
there.
yeah.
You're still giving them time. Yeah.
Absolutely,
What
yeah.
do they think about you being Mr. I was going to say Mr. Shutki, the producer of Mr. Shutki. What do they think about that?
It's like anything
proud of
else.
you.
Yeah, it's like, Dad, have you got a jar for me?
Wow, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. Now listen, every business is, as we know, and don't say that's easy because I'm sure you faced problems,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You faced hurdles in
Absolutely.
businesses. Do you want to share a little bit with us, you know, for the viewers' sake as well?
What would you like to share?
Any problem that you faced in business?
Oh, it's the demand, coping with the demand. That was
Okay.
my problem. I mean, even to this day, I mean, we're a good month behind on production because of the varieties that we do,
Right.
and they're handcrafted products. They're not, you know,
Yeah.
we automated what we could, but essentially the final bits and pieces they're handcrafted. You know, you have to put a lot of love and a lot of care and has to go into that product. So, you know, we're limited to what we can actually produce.
Okay.
So we produced enough, but we do have a big demand
Okay.
for supply. So
Right.
therefore, you know, we were a month or so behind in production, especially with
Is
Ramadan.
that a good
just
thing, being behind?
It's not a good thing. Well, I don't know. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? I mean, you tell me. Really, at the end of the day. You know, at the end of the day, you know, it's a good thing for the customer, for the end user, because
Okay.
they're getting fresh.
Absolutely. No, they ain't get.
They know
as long as
the products what they're going to have.
Yeah.
Is, you know, if they, I mean, we supply shops, you know, some of them twice a week.
Okay.
Some shops the bigger ones anyway. Some shops, you know. Twice a month,
Right.
But once a month for sure.
But I mean, shops are not being the shelves.
No,
are
we
not,
don't. I don't. What I mean by shops, I mean distributors, suppliers. They supply the shops.
the distributors supply it. So you're supplying to the distributors, or they come and collect it from you. Right?
Yeah, we supplied. No, we supply to distributors.
They're the ones who supply.
Yeah,
supply
I mean,
to the,
I'm
to the
not
stores.
sure if I can mention it, but I mean, you know, all the suppliers.
Yeah.
Bangladeshi
Without mentioning any
suppliers.
names, obviously,
Yeah,
yeah.
all the biggest suppliers in Bangladeshi suppliers in the UK.
Wow. Okay, so I mean, have you thought of, or are you doing it already?
What's that?
The products, are they going sort of to Bangladesh, or have you thought of doing business with Bengali corporate companies or stuff like that? There are a lot of supermarkets in Bangladesh. So yeah, go on. Tell me a little bit about that. You're smiling. There must be a reason for that smile.
I'm smiling because. You just asked me a whole lot of questions, and I'm trying to decipher each one.
Okay, let me make it simple for you. Have you thought of,
Yeah.
or are you already? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Taking your product
Okay.
elsewhere apart from the UK.
Our product sells in European countries, all the European countries.
Okay, they're already there.
They're already in European countries. They're also, it's also available in America and I believe also in Canada as well. Some distributors are sending it
Bangladesh?
over. Bangladesh, I mean, I've generally
it's
I've seen
competitive
I've
doing
I
shutki
see-
in Bangladesh.
No,
But
Not really,
Go
because
on.
our products, people in this country, our customers, our consumers, they actually take it to Bangladesh with them.
Okay,
You'd be
alright.
surprised, the amount. And they say, no, can you give us a couple of boxes? They can ring us on the emails. We're thinking of going to Bangladesh. Is there any chance that we can buy directly off you so many boxes?
That's amazing. That's amazing actually, because now if you take it, I mean, there's something that Bengalis are producing on a daily basis. Shutki, we know, is something that is made in the front yard. Okay.
Well, this is exactly the
Uta.
reason why we can't have shutki from Bangladesh.
Yeah. Now, if your product is still selling in Bangladesh, or people are taking your products to Bangladesh,
Means that they
then-
like the product.
Absolutely. Now, they like it from. It's a place where the original stuff is being made. However, it's going from another country, and still people like it. So that's absolutely.
I think the like for that is because in Bangladesh, the question is, how is it made? I mean, have you seen some of the stuff on YouTube and so on?
What they make in Bangladesh. You mean?
Yeah.
But people have a lot
people
of
trampling on things and
scrutiny
so
about
on
it,
and
yeah.
everything else. That's pretty disgusting. And that, no, I can't deal with that. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
So-
maybe you should think about outsourcing the product, and maybe teach them a little bit, because unfortunately in Bangladesh they sort of cut corners, don't they?
They do.
They cut corners, and because of the labor, whatever reason it may be, and it kind of makes us a little bit iffy, to go and buy, let's say mishti, for example, right? And after you see these YouTube programs and how they make it, anyone would be a little bit iffy. So this is the reason I asked you about human consumption and fit for human consumption and so forth. It's anything that's made in the UK is always looked upon as a higher grade,
Well,
class A. So if you did send your product to Bangladesh, and it's going to be classed as made in the UK, then you've already hit the market, isn't it? Because all those categories are fulfilled and covered in terms of the production, right?
Right. I'm not going to say anything because I mean I have future plans, but I'm not.
Well, I was going to thought.
I'm not going to discuss those things just here on the television regarding.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine, and I respect that. But in terms of future plans, right? You mentioned something earlier on. What kind of future plans do you have to take this product?
Well,
to a higher level?
these products are working very well. I mean, we've had a lot of inquiries from the Middle East. We've had a lot of inquiries from Indonesia.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of inquiries from Malaysia. Those countries. We do also do balachang as well, which is an Indonesian or a Burmese borta,
Okay.
which is very popular. So I've had a lot of inquiries from those people, which we're working on at present moment.
Wow.
That's why I can't.
Listen,
really
you
tell
know what?
because-
Something that just came up to my mind now. Okay. Do you have any other future plans? I don't know if we should be doing this on TV, but you're a chef.
Yeah.
You make products.
Yeah.
Right. I've just had a fantastic idea come to my head.
Okay, well-
Right. And I would like to work with you. Do you understand? Because in terms of let me just blurt it out.
Okay, go on.
Cooking. Right.
Yeah.
Cooking. Making a cooking show.
Oh.
Right. What do you think about that?
Yeah, cooking shows are good. It teaches people.
There you go. I've just given you a future plan. You can think about that now.
Right, I will-
I'll be contacting you.
Okay.
Think about that, and I think it's a fantastic idea. One is teaching
Yeah.
other people, that benefiting others as well, and
Keeping
because
the tradition alive.
what I just thought about is you made something which was there, and you made it very easy, and we can make easy food to cook, for
Yeah.
example, and as long as it's benefiting the viewers. And the show should be successful.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
It's an idea.
Yeah, I think it's something that we can work on. If you've got the
The energy and time.
yeah, if you've got the energy, no problem.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
If I've got the energy and time, you'll do the cooking.
I'll do the cooking. I'll show you how to.
With
cook.
my energy and time.
I'll show you how to cook.
No
my
problem.
brother.
Listen, let's shake hands on that.
Okay,
Shake
no
hands
worries.
on that.
No
So
problem.
that could be a future plan. Any other future plans in terms of, it doesn't have to be with your Shutki products. It could be anything else. Nothing? You don't want to share it. You're being reserved. No problem. That's fine. Give us some tips for the viewers. Give us some tips in terms of becoming successful, right? Maybe you want to choose 3 tips and do's and don'ts. Okay? Just for the viewers.
Well, never give up. That's one of the things. I suppose it's the old cliche. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Bang on at your dreams and you'll get there. Which is true. You will get there.
Okay.
No problem. But always believe in. I mean, believe in God.
Right.
Believe in honesty.
Honesty, yeah, that's
it's very important because the thing is, when I first started, I tried, under promise, over deliver.
Under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the best way of going about it, I think.
Right.
And be straight with people. Yeah, I can do that for you. I can do that
Build
for
that
you.
trust.
Yeah, build the trust.
Build the
Trust
trust.
is very important.
And deliver the trust as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of,
absolutely. So that's why I says, you under promise and then you can deliver more. And it's like everybody, this is great, no problem at all.
In business,
that's why we say 1 month waiting time.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's
And if you can have it in 2 weeks' time, well and good.
No, that's it's a really good way of putting it. Under promise, over deliver, because that's always a bonus
Absolutely.
for the ones who receive whatever you're delivering. But
I mean,
honesty-
generic. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
talking about-
absolutely. Honesty in business, and I've seen a reputation is something which is on the top of the list. So with business, if your reputation, and with reputation comes all these things, isn't it? The honesty bit, the trust.
Sharif Bhai, I can tell you, thousands upon thousands upon thousands,
Yeah.
tens of thousands of pounds, I've literally thrown down the drain.
You've seen businesses go down
No,
the drain?
I've literally thrown down the drain
Right.
because I wanted to make sure my customer had the right product right.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
it has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, it's not going out. That's it. Full stop.
So would one of the tips be to our viewers that...
Be honest. This is what I'm saying. If you're going to produce something, if it's what it says on the label, make sure it is what it is in the jar. Don't get to a level that you think, I'm going to cut corners here, I'm going to cut corners here, because that's not good. That's
So
very bad
not
practice.
to cut corners,
Not
be
to cut
honest, and reputation, build that reputation.
Reputation.
Build that reputation. Fantastic.
You know,
No, because this is something that I ask every week, all my guests, and these are the tips that they give. And honesty is one of the tips that everybody nearly gives. And absolutely, in business, you got to be honest.
Be sincere.
And, yeah, be sincere, be honest. Yeah, faithful, all these words.
Yeah.
Right, semantics. But yeah, at the end of the day, they all...
But these semantics we've got to use.
Absolutely. Listen, it's been great to have you on the show.
It's been my pleasure.
We've got to thank you. It's been my pleasure as well. We've got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
You've given us all these beneficial ideas and tips and how you sort of grew up as well. I was going to ask you, someone who worked a lot in Ireland.
Ireland.
Oh,
right? I can speak with an Irish accent, so I can.
With the Irish.
This is for the Irish viewers. Hi, how are you doing there?
Yes, I'm sure we got some Irish viewers. Now, someone who grew up in Ireland came up with the concept of shutki, and that's something that amazes me.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to say thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Because I've had your products, and it's amazing. And I've even given some to my mum, and she loved it as well.
Oh,
so you're doing a fantastic job. Brilliant. Once again, really, really glad to have you on the show. The pleasure was mine, and we have to wrap it up because I've got my producer on the line, and we've got a couple of minutes. But back to the viewers. I hope you enjoyed the show, viewers. I hope you enjoyed the advice and the tips and so forth that Nazrul Bhai has given us. Next week, we'll have another entrepreneur, another successful businessman on the show, and we'll be learning from him how he became successful, and we should benefit us and you guys. And thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Until next time.